Today I am going to tell you an interesting story. The time was from 1775 to 1783. The struggle of the birth of the Lagna was the struggle for American independence against the British monarchy. And yes, I am working hard to make these videos for you, so please support me. I am just going to do this.
Private First Class Desmond T. Doss, 307th Infantry Regiment, 77th Infantry Division. His first-hand, medically documented actions atop Hacksaw Ridge represent one of the most emotionally powerful enlisted man heroism accounts in U.S. military history. There was one truth everyone knew. You do not fight a modern war without carrying a weapon. You do not climb into machine gun fire with empty hands. You do not walk unarmed into a killing zone and expect to survive. Every army on Earth builds its doctrine around this assumption. Rifles are life. Ammunition is survival. Firepower is authority. The United States Army believes this rule as firmly as any military that has ever existed. Training, discipline, rank, tactics, and identity all revolve around the soldier as a weapon bearer. Without a rifle, you are not a soldier. Without a rifle, you are a liability. Without a rifle, you will break. That is what the experts believe. That is what the enemy believes. That is what even many American officers believe. But in 1945, on a jagged escarpment on the island of Okinawa, one unarmed private breaks that rule. He does not fire a single shot. He does not kill a single enemy soldier. And yet, before the night ends, he will personally save 75 men. Begins with a young man from Lynchburg, Virginia. Desmond Doss grows up poor, quiet, deeply religious. He works in a sawmill. He reads his Bible daily. He believes with absolute certainty that he cannot take a human life. When Pearl Harbor happens, he does not hesitate to enlist. But he refuses to carry a weapon. He tells recruiters he will serve as a medic. He will run toward the wounded. He will treat anyone, American or enemy. He will not kill. The Army does not know what to do with him. Fellow recruits beat him. Officers threaten court-martial. Drill instructors call him a coward. They throw boots at his head while he prays. They try to have him discharged. He refuses to quit. He endures everything. He passes medical training. He joins the 307th Infantry Regiment of the 77th Infantry Division. By 1945, his unit lands on Okinawa. Okinawa is not a beach assault. It is a grinding meat grinder of caves, ridgelines, artillery, mortars, tunnels, and fanatical defense. Japanese doctrine on Okinawa is simple. Do not retreat. Do not surrender. Kill as many Americans as possible. The most feared position on the southern front is a sheer rock face called the Maeda Escarpment. Americans will call it Hacksaw Ridge. A vertical cliff roughly 400 feet high. At the top, a maze of bunkers, pillboxes, tunnels, and interlocking machine guns. Whoever holds the ridge controls the surrounding terrain. Whoever controls the terrain controls the battle. American assaults fail repeatedly. Entire companies get cut down in minutes. Bodies stack against the rock face. And still the ridge must be taken. On April 29, 1945, Desmond Doss climbs the cargo net with his company. He carries no rifle. He carries bandages, morphine, plasma, scissors. The men around him carry M1 Garands, bars, grenades, flamethrowers. He reaches the top with the first wave. The fighting explodes immediately. Japanese machine guns rake the plateau. Mortars rain down. Men fall screaming. Medics get hit. Platoons scatter. Somehow, the Americans push forward and establish a thin foothold. By late afternoon, Japanese artillery and counterattacks slam into the Americans. Orders come down. Fall back. Everyone withdraws. Everyone except Desmond Doss. He sees wounded men lying where they fell. Some groaning. Some silent. Some calling for help. He does not move toward the cliff. He moves toward the wounded. Begins. The ridge is chaos. Smoke burns your lungs. Dust coats your tongue. The crack of rifles mixes with the heavier boom of mortars. Japanese soldiers begin advancing through tunnels. Doss crawls to the first wounded man. The soldier is bleeding from the leg. Doss applies a tourniquet. He drags him behind a rock. He whispers, "Lord, help me get one more." He grabs the man's webbing and pulls him toward the cliff edge. There is no stretcher. No rope system. Doss improvises a sling from rope and webbing. He lowers the man over the side, hand over hand, feeling the rope burn his palms. The man disappears into darkness. Doss turns back. He moves again. Another wounded soldier. Chest wound. Shallow breathing. Doss packs the wound. Injects morphine. Drags him. Japanese bullets snap overhead. Rocks chip inches from his face. He reaches the edge. Lowers the second man. He whispers again, "Lord, help me get one more." Minutes pass. Hours pass. The battlefield grows quieter and more dangerous at the same time. Japanese patrols move cautiously. They know Americans pulled back. They assume anyone left is dead. Doss crawls through bodies. Some American, some Japanese. He checks pulses. He listens for breathing. He treats whoever is alive. He finds a soldier with shattered arms. He ties a rope around the man's chest. He lowers him. He finds another with abdominal wounds. He holds the intestines in place with bandages. Lowers him. One after another. Countless trips. Japanese soldiers begin appearing in the smoke. Doss presses himself flat behind bodies. He does not fire. He does not run. He waits. When they pass, he moves again. At one point, a Japanese soldier kicks a corpse less than 10 feet from him. The body does not move. Doss does not breathe. The soldier walks away. Doss resumes crawling. He is working by feel now. His hands are slick with blood. His uniform is soaked. His fingers cramp. He keeps whispering the same words. "Lord, help me get one more." Down below, at the base of the cliff, stunned American soldiers start realizing wounded men are descending. 1, 2, 10, 20, 30. No one understands how. No one believes it is one man. Back on top, Doss keeps going. He stumbles over a body. He recognizes the voice. It is one of the men who mocked him in training. The man begs him not to leave. Doss drags him anyway. Another trip. Another lowering. A Japanese grenade explodes nearby. Dirt rains down. Shrapnel cuts into Doss's leg. He ties a bandage around his own wound. He continues. At one point, he finds an officer shot through the shoulder. The officer orders Doss to treat other men first. Doss refuses. He treats the officer. Lowers him. Japanese voices grow closer. The enemy begins probing deeper. Doss knows time is running out. He finds a soldier with a crushed jaw. He cannot speak. Doss carries him piggyback to the edge. Lowers him. He goes back. Again. And again. Countless repetitions. There is no stopwatch. No official clock. Survivors later estimate he works for roughly 5 hours alone. Somewhere around the 40th man, his arms begin to shake uncontrollably. He drops to his knees. He prays again. He stands back up. He keeps going. He does not know the number. He only knows the next man, the next breath, the next life. Finally, near midnight, Japanese patrols sweep closer. Doss realizes if he stays any longer, he will die and save no more. He crawls to the edge. He lowers himself down the rope. Only then does he allow himself to collapse. By morning, officers try to count how many men he saved. Estimates range from 50 to 100. They settle on 75. 75 men saved by one unarmed private. The ridge is attacked again days later. Doss returns to duty. During another assault, he gets hit by a grenade. Shrapnel tears into his legs. He treats himself. While being carried to the rear, a sniper hits him in the arm, shattering bone. Doss slides off the stretcher and orders the medics to treat another man first. He waits 5 hours before receiving care. He nearly loses his arm. He survives that. If you find this kind of forgotten history as fascinating as we do, we'd be honored if you'd hit that subscribe button. We believe these stories of courage and sacrifice deserve to be told. And by subscribing, you help us ensure they aren't forgotten. Begins with the ripple effect. Hacksaw Ridge falls. American forces push south. The Japanese defensive line begins to collapse. Okinawa becomes the final stepping stone toward Japan itself. But something else changes too. Officers who once wanted Doss court-martialed now request him personally. Soldiers who mocked him now call him the bravest man I ever knew. Word spreads through the division. A man without a rifle walked into hell and outperformed entire platoons of armed soldiers. The army is forced to confront an uncomfortable truth. Courage does not require a weapon. Lethality is not the only form of battlefield power. In October 1945, President Harry Truman personally awards Desmond Doss the Medal of Honor. Truman tells him, "I'm proud of you. You really deserve this." Doss becomes the first conscientious objector in American history to receive the Medal of Honor. Begins with the man after the war. Desmond Doss lives quietly. He suffers from severe lung damage from tuberculosis contracted in the Pacific. He loses part of a lung and several ribs. He struggles with pain the rest of his life. He never boasts. He never exaggerates. When asked how he did it, he always gives the same answer. "The Lord did it. I just tried to do my part." He dies in 2006 at age 87. Many of the men he saved live full lives. They raise families. They grow old. Some say they thought of him every day. Why does this story matter now? Because the world still teaches that strength equals violence. Because history still glorifies only those who destroy. Because sometimes the most powerful act on a battlefield is not taking life. It is refusing to abandon it. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. Every click tells the algorithm this piece of history is worth remembering. We're dedicated to rescuing these forgotten stories from the archives. If you want to join us on this mission, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment with your city or state and tell us if someone in your family served. Thank you for ensuring that Desmond Doss and the 75 men he saved do not disappear into silence. They deserve to be remembered.